McCullough Elementary. My name is Natasha Crouse, and I've had the privilege of teaching 5th grade here for the past year. This presentation is going to highlight some of the reform work that we've accomplished over the past 2 years, as well as our next steps in response to data. Pat Ring is the principal at McCullough Elementary, which is housed in a neighborhood of predominantly low socioeconomic status. Additionally, 40% of the student body are from military families housed at Peterson Air Force Base. The school is highly impacted by mobility, with a rate of nearly 30% rollover. Reform work during the 2012-2013 school year focused on school climate, while reform work in the 2013-2014 school year centered on a Tier 1 checklist of strategies for increasing rigor in standards-based instruction in all contents. While McCullough's 2013 school performance framework was at the performance level, a lack of achievement and growth was noted in reading and writing. Further analysis of TCAP and MAP results indicated a significant need in developing student capacity in nonfiction reading skills. Reports that have been especially helpful in this work have been the TCAP item map analysis and the MAP class breakdown reports. Research shows that addressing deficiencies in reading comprehension is addressed through carefully executed pedagogical strategies. Collaborative strategic reading and explicit instruction in close reading and metacognition have been proven to be effective. Integration of these strategies will build student capacity in reading, social studies, and science text, summarizing and paraphrasing content, self-monitoring of comprehension, the use of mental imagery, using visual representation of text, understanding text structures, and generating and answering questions. Launching the reform in nonfiction reading will take place at the onset of the school year with a 1-hour examination of teaching close reading strategies. Further professional development will be infused into staff meetings and PLC conversations throughout the year. During the first staff meeting, a 10 to 15-minute mini lesson will introduce the Collaborative Strategic Reading Model, or CSR. The 5 subsequent staff meetings will further explore the 5 facets of CSR using the IRIS interactive digital model to drive the professional development. With PLC conversations dispersed between staff meetings, teams will briefly document their reflections on their classroom implementation of these strategies throughout the year. Implementation of these refined instructional practices will be assessed through documentation in teacher evaluations.
A close reading is a careful and purposeful reading. Well, actually, it's rereading. It's a careful and purposeful rereading of a text. It's an encounter with the text where students really focus on what the author had to say, what the author's purpose was, what the words mean, what the structure of the text tells us. It really is getting to what Louise Rosenblatt talked about as a transaction between the reader and the text. Louise Rosenblatt, the originator of reader response theory, really talked about understanding what the author had to say and not impugning those authors' words, but really getting what the author had to say and bringing some of your own ideas to bear on that text. In the close reading, we have to have students reread the text. We give them questions, text-dependent questions, that require that they go back into the text and search for answers. These aren't simply recall questions, just the facts of the text, but rather questions that allow students to think about the text and the author's purpose and the structure and the flow of the text. Close reading requires that students actually think and understand what they're reading.
In addition to personal communication with Pat Ring, 5 references were utilized in the creation of this presentation. School-wide strategies that deepen student comprehension of nonfiction text will address the root cause need that has been excavated in reading data at McCullough Elementary. Research indicates that continued utilization over the next 3 years will demonstrate marked improvement in student nonfiction test results.